of truffle.
Bam!
Cookie left her glass in the kitchen, but it was bare, Father Hubbard.
Oh, coming right.
Good day. Caviar.
Save some for baby.
Where did you find all this? Oh, I have a friend who gets me around. Oh, you're charming, Fred. Oh, you're charming, too. Did I show you my necklace? Garnets. Real. Bite 'em.
I have wanted to see this play as I wrote it, since I wrote it, and tonight I finally did.
Well, tell me what you admire the most about this new production, Arthur.
Well, it's too much to go into, but the cast is brilliant, the direction is brilliant, the whole production is wonderful. It wasn't that it was bad before. There was, for certain reasons, certain elements of the play didn't come out, and in this production they do.
So I was going to ask you what memories this brought back to the 1952 production with Shirley Booth.
What memories? Wiped them all out.
Really?
And this was better. This was much better. So I'm very grateful to Lincoln Center, to Andre Bishop, to Nicholas Martin, and to Deborah Monk, and everybody actually.
Relax. Relax, and the world is beautiful. Take a deep breath, like for singing. It is not very much to have coffee with me this evening, is it?
No.
Then I may come for you.
I'd be honored.
Grazie. He's an Italian living in a Venetian man who I could resemble if I would be living there, whose life is everyday life, and then a marvelous woman arrives whom he gets to like more and more, but the differences in culture and way of seeing life, way of being do not allow them to stay together for too long. But it's a wonderful experience.
And what you've been enjoying the most about working with Arthur Lawrence and your director Nicholas Martin?
Well, I feel about working with Arthur Lawrence in a way like I have to repeat myself, I feel like not a good thief who is being chased by a marvelous cop, marvelous detective who is so smart and so brilliant that he catches every move and mistake you make. So you have to constantly work hard to escape and finally be caught. And I think that Arthur finally likes what I do and finally accepts what I do, and it's a great reward for all the work we've done, for me, for I've done in the play.
Oh, yes, indeed, we're doing all of Italy, Florence, Rome, Capri. And then it's off to Spain, Portugal, and home.
Flying home. Came over by boat. You get around a bit.
Oh, dear me, yes.
We've been to Ireland, Scotland,
The Edinburgh Festival was sweet.
England, London, France, Paris,
Well, Paris, c'est la vie.
Belgium, Holland, Germany, Switzerland. Now here we are in Venice.
These are two American tourists in Venice, and they want to be sort of worldly and world travelers, but they're really not, and they're very sort of ill at ease in another country and that sort of thing. But Arthur Lawrence wrote something once that said every character in a play has to be a variation of the theme of that play, and that's very good, because these characters, they go on this vacation in Europe to find something, and they don't know what they're looking for. And you find that every character in the play is trying to do that same thing. So it's nice. It's lovely. It's a beautifully written play.
She's, the way we have approached her is that she comes from a higher bourgeois family, and she, after the war, you know how things changed in Italy, that she changes her beautiful house into a pensione and she loses her husband. And then with that she makes some radical choices in her life as to how she's going to live. And she's a bit a rebel. There's a rebel in her, and she's very conscious of it, extremely bright and very much tuned to life and being alive. And It's a delightful character with the wisdom, though. She's not hungry. She's just delighted to be alive.
I always thought when I fell in love I'd hear a waltz. No waltz, Signora.
You should have gone to Vienna.
I should have hired a band.
What you call a waltz, I hear very often. With me, it's necessary. Perhaps sometimes I have to play it myself, but I hear it. And the wonderful thing I discovered and learned, really, I think, from watching Mr. Lawrence, is this economy with which he chooses the very specific words, and then it opens up like an umbrella inside of you. It's a way of relating I had never experienced quite that way before. It's wonderful.
Arthur did tell me that the part that I play and the part that Anna Reeder plays are the most complicated parts in the play, he thought, but that didn't really help me. That just sort of made me more confused. But one thing he did say early on in rehearsal was that if you're trying to be liked too much by the audience, you're going to miss the character. And I really embraced that sentiment, and I just, I'm not concerned with whether people like Eddie, because Eddie's got a lot of problems, and he's clumsy and he's mean sometimes, even though he does, what he does out of love, perhaps. But it's just, if that's making any sense, it's just like he said that, and that's pretty much how I found it.
I think it's probably one of the most beautifully written roles for a woman, and so that's a thrill. And I love that she's, as he says at the end, so complicated. She's funny, she's warm, she's sad, and you get to play a lot of gamut of reactions and emotions, so that's fun to do.
The second act party scene, it sort of changes the whole tone of the show. And I was wondering, what were the difficulties of you finding how you wanted to play that?
One of the great notes that Arthur gave me was that the party scene is like a train wreck. It just goes. And to play it kind of slow and let it kind of happen slowly is not going to make it work. He said to me, it's just a driven thing, and it happens before anybody knows it even happens. It's just one of those things that unfolds. And that was a great note, and it really helped me to get it.
It must be wonderful to have had Arthur Lawrence there during the whole rehearsal process.
It was great. It's been since the beginning. I talked to him, go to his house, sit down with a little book, and just tell me. And he would talk about the part and about the times, about the 50s, and it was great. It's a real treasure. He's a treasure, and it's great to have him.
And working with your director, Nicholas Martin.
Love him. It's the second time I've worked with Nick, and he's terrific. He's just he puts together a great company and such care and class, and he's wonderfully funny, and we have a great time. We've had a great time. It's been a great collaboration.
I love this play, and I've loved it for 50 years, and I've always thought Deborah should do it. Even she said tonight, you started this in a way. But the thrilling thing has been the collaboration with Deb and Arthur and me. That's been the thrilling part of doing this play.
I was going to ask you what it's been like having him, the author, to work with.
Brilliant, because we think alike, he and Deb and I. And so we were able to work as three people on a play. And of course Arthur knows how the play goes, if you know what I mean. But I've always pulled in the writer if they have an aptitude for communication. Nobody has it like Arthur, and nobody has it like Deb.
So I was going to say, your casting is impeccable on this production.
Oh, thank you. That's Daniel Swede, the greatest casting director in New York. To find even that little boy, is amazing. But we went everywhere. Chidem, who plays the Italian pensionia owner, is Turkish, and I knew her at the School of the Arts when I taught there. So we went everywhere to find the right cast and make it authentic and not just silly,
Miss Samish, I'm a man and I want you. But you, it's wrong, it's wicked, it's this, it's that. You are a hungry child to whom someone brings ravioli. But I don't want ravioli, I want beef and steak. You are hungry, Miss Samish, eat the ravioli.
I'm not that hungry.